What is up, everybody? It's Owls.
Hey!
Today I'm going to be teaching you how to wrong warp in Elden Ring. This technique will allow you to get anything from endgame materials at Farum Azula to the Mimic Tier Ash at Night's Sacred Ground. And all of this can be done from the beginning of your adventure. The first warp we perform is going to take us from the 4 belfries all the way to Farum Azula. I'll be showing you how to get to the 4 belfries from the Gatefront Grace, but if you just need to know how to perform the warp, you can skip to the 3-minute mark. I want to take a quick detour here at the Temple Quarter to pick up the Ice Rind Hatchet. It's easily the best weapon you can get this early on in the game, and has the most ridiculous Ash of War outside of Night and Flame. Be sure to pick it up if you haven't. Once we get to the top here, you are going to find an imbued stone sword key. This key is one-time use, but it will allow us to activate one of the portals. Next, grab the Grace up top, as this is key to performing these wrong warps. These are the statues you need to use the keys on to activate the teleporters. Alright, so we're going to perform our first wrong warp. Make sure to rest here at the 4 Belfries Grace before you start. Head down to the first portal, which will take us to the secluded area in Farum Azula. What these wrong warps do is essentially confuse the game as to where to place the player, and you can abuse it to take you to the beginning of the desired zone. Alright, so we're going to go through the teleporter here. And essentially what we're going to do is use the Memory of Grace to attempt to go back to the 4 belfries. But as that's happening, we're going to fast travel to Stormhill Shack. And hopefully we'll be falling by the time we load in. Alright, we got it. Now you're going to go System and Quit Out. And then on the main menu, we're just going to hit Continue. It's going to take you a few tries to get the timing right on the fast travel. But my best advice is to basically react to the noise that the memory makes. It's like a resonating bell, and use that to time your fast travel to Stormhill. Not only can you get great items like regular and somber ancient dragon smithing stones, but this is notably the same skip used in many any percent speedruns. This next skip will allow you to go to the royal capital without needing 2 great runes. We're going to open this chest right here, and this is what's going to take us to the royal capital. The nice thing about this warp in particular is that you can do it straight from the Grace. We're going to activate our memory before it goes off, teleport to Stormhill Shack, and hopefully we'll be falling by the time this loads back. There it is. You're going to go quit out, and then all you got to do from here is hit continue. And for our final warp, we're actually going to use the 4 belfries one more time, use a different teleporter, and take it to Nokron Eternal City, which is going to allow us to get an early Mimic tier. Alright, so we're going to rest at the bonfire, hop down to this first portal here. If you've already used the imbued sword key from before, don't worry, there's actually a very accessible one in Raya Lucaria. Alright, once we arrive in Nokron, we're going to use the memory, and then fast travel to Stormhill Shack before it takes effect. Now, hopefully we're falling here. There it is. Now we're just going to quit out, and then when we get back to the menu, just continue. So when we arrive, we are going to be right outside of the Mimic tier boss fight. This isn't actually where you get the Ash, but we have to defeat this boss to progress. Go ahead and grab this Grace here. You're going to want it for when you come back to this area later. One final note before you're off to perform these warps. You are going to want to familiarize yourself with what inputs you need to get to the Stormhill Shack from the map. Obviously, dragging the cursor will be too slow in most circumstances, so you will want to take advantage of the Sites of Grace menu by pressing Y or triangle. This menu has a list of available graces divided by region and subregion. You can press the bumpers or L1 and R1 to move around to different regions, and the D-pad to scroll through the available graces. Early on, you will have so few graces that it won't be much of an issue to just manually select it before the memory of grace you activated finishes. Later on, however, you will have entirely too many graces for this method to be reasonable. Thankfully, there is a method that trivializes this entire process by marking the Stormhill Shack grace by clicking the right thumbstick. This allows you to press Y or triangle again on the Sites of Grace menu to open up the list of favorites or mark Sites of Grace. This means no matter how many graces you have, the input will always be the same for every wrong warp. Open the map, Y, or triangle, confirm. And that about wraps it up. I hope that some of you find this guide helpful. Take care.